Okay. Hello, Rakshita. Welcome to the Life Journeys podcast. I am so happy that we have you uh, with us today. So, Rakshita is a poet, a poetry show host, and she's a social activist, and she does a lot of different things. And I am really excited to have you share your journey on the podcast with us, Rakshita. So, yeah, I would love to know from you all that you do and a little bit about the different things that you are working on currently.
Thank you so much, Amrita, for inviting for this beautiful, life journey podcast. I'm super excited and happy to share the journey with you. So, basically, if I'll talk about the current projects I'm working on, तो वो बहुत सारे हैं which I'm like constantly working on some kind of art projects जैसे
Mm-hmm.
story telling के shows हो गए stand up के shows हो गए and I have recently come up with a multilingual stand up comedy show and
Wow.
Midday News really like the idea behind that and this thing, and they got covered our story and featured on their like newspaper print and all. So wow, it was really nice boost. कि अच्छा जो भी कर रहे हो करते चलो and then now we are coming up with full social awareness event which will
Mm-hmm.
be based on art with activism. So ऐसे कुछ नए नए प्रोजेक्ट है एक और प्रोजेक्ट है that is related to makeup. Okay, so makeup and you can say blend of activism. तो वो प्रोजेक्ट अगर जब एग्जीक्यूट होगा इसी नवंबर मंथ में एग्जीक्यूट होगा
Mm-hmm.
so it's gonna give goosebump to people who are connected around and love to see my. So let's see. I am super excited and let's see how it works.
That is amazing. And every time I talk with you, I think it's a different Rakshita that I'm meeting, and some new layers are getting added to your personality because this makeup thing I did not know before. So fascinating. And all the best to you for like the different things that you are doing. And like, yeah, so that is exactly why I'm doing this Life Journeys podcast. That it is uh, so often that we get stuck in that routine, or we have a very fixed path that we have been navigating throughout our
Mhm.
lives. But fortunately, I have been blessed enough to meet people from so many different walks of life and who have like a very interesting, although a very circuitous path towards their towards whatever they are doing right now. So I it's just my effort to understand people, understand their stories, where they are coming from, and also to present to our audience and to our listeners that this is not like that path that we our parents and elders have told us of, very fixed, doing this one engineering or professional path. That is not the only path that we can follow to have to achieve our life's purpose. There are many different winding paths that one can take to feel fulfilled and to feel joyous. And so that is what I am doing by interviewing people whom I've met on in my journey. So, Rakshita, you have been a big part of my poetry journey. So, I'm a poet and an actor. And my poetry journey started very uh, unknowingly, even to me. And once I got onto the open mic circuit, I met people like you, and then people gave me feedback that my work was being appreciated, my work resonated with them. And that kind of made me go on writing more and more poems. So, yeah, so, and tell us more about like, um, tell us more about your childhood and how you were as a kid and what kind of aspirations you had.
Okay. So as a child, I used to be like, एक 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 वर्ड होता था, लाइक जो मेरी बड़ी बहन मुझे बुलाती थी, एंड लाइक मेरे पेरेंट्स भी बुलाते थे वो वर्ड. सो वेन एवर आई यूज टू लाफ एज अ बेबी, okay, when I was like 1 year or 2 year old, or like within like 5 years of age, so they, whenever I used to like laugh, so they used to tell me Junjun. Okay, so they used to like Rakshita, uh, झुनझुन के जैसे हंसते तो देखा. So it's like there's a toy जो बचपन में उसको झुनझुन बोलते हैं. So whenever I used to smile, so they used to like झुनझुन के जैसे हंसती है. So I have this fond memory of like my childhood. And there's one more that is like I used to make lemonade. Okay, and जब छोटी थी, then I used to ask small family members and everybody who used to come for the family get together कि like in the glass ऐसे ऐसे करके नींबू पानी कम चाहिए कि ज्यादा चाहिए, ऐसे ऐसे करके. So in Sindhi we used to say it like नींबू शरबत थोड़ो खपेव कि ज्यादा, नींबू शरबत थोड़ो खपेव या ज्यादा. And then like being growing up, I had just one dream, like I wanted to be a doctor, huh? So um, so what I used to do is, when my sister was in 12th standard, I was in 3rd standard. Okay,
Mhm.
so she used to learn all the bones and names and all सारी bones के names scientifically याद कर रही थी वो अपने course में.
Mhm.
But being in the 3rd standard, I was so fascinated कि मैंने उसके सारे बोन्स जो उसने मुझे बताया मुझे याद हो गए. एंड वो
Wow.
तो अभी तक ब्रेन वॉश कुछ नहीं हुआ है, मतलब दे आर स्टिल लाइक वो बोलते हैं ना चाइल्डहुड में आप जो लर्न करते हो वो जाता नहीं है. बट
Mhm.
नाउ इफ आई सी माई लाइफ, इट्स completely changed because of my एकदम extensive journey in DED. And
Mhm.
my mentors were like super amazing. Those who have like ऐसा होता है मिट्टी के घड़े को बनाते हैं तो बहुत कुम्हार का बहुत ही रोल रहता है. So I
Right.
have got such mentors in my life कि in spite of being college का general secretary,
Mhm.
NSS LTP leader, I used to like in B8 college full time. So it was like almost 100 से ऊपर इवेंट तो हम लोग एक साल में ऑर्गेनाइज कर लेते थे
Wow.
मिला के. एंड आई वाज अ पार्ट ऑफ लाइक ऑल ऑर्गेनाइजिंग कमिटी, परफॉर्मिंग कमिटी, होस्टिंग में कल्चरल कमिटी, ये वो. सो द एंटायर बिल्डिंग आई यूज्ड टू बी लाइक अप एंड डाउन, अप एंड डाउन. एंड व्हाट आई फील गुड अबाउट दिस, that till date I have been like long back passed out, and my all 16 mentors are so proud of me. They are still in touch with me, from principal to har ek chota chota jo bhi like they were working on non-teaching stuff. Everybody is connected, and they still keep on inviting me. And today also I am the vice president of my college alumni
Wow,
committee.
that's amazing. So, which college did you attend in? I'm
So it was like, it's a very well-known, like top grade college in University of Mumbai for BA. That is
okay.
Seva Sadan's College of Education. So it's a like very old college, government college.
Mm-hmm.
तो इसमें जो जिसकी ट्रेनिंग निकलती है तो like people see when they see it on your CV, and then they like कि they'll not ask again उसके आगे पीछे कुछ. So those who have
Fascinating.
passed out, yeah, they have been working and all with Jain College and other sort of like, different colleges or schools or this thing. But my journey have been like esa roller coaster.
So, you wanted to be a doctor, and then you
Yeah.
did your B.Ed, which is typically after. I'm sorry. So typically after people do B.Ed, they join, that's an education degree, and then they join into the teaching profession. So instead of going into the teaching profession, you came into the open mic space and open mic. zone. So how did that happen? And I would love to know what were like your biggest influences or your inspirations during that time, or during this whole journey and during this whole process.
So I think B.Ed was basically to groom my entire personality.
Hmm.
That has really helped me out. So nowadays, if I take all the social awareness like sessions in colleges and in schools, whenever I am invited as a guest speaker, so you know what, like not even a single student in auditorium, there are like 300 to 500 students are sitting, it's jam packed for 2 hours. They'll be sitting quietly when I
Wow.
am speaking, like so this thing Beard has only taught me. This
Fascinating.
nobody can have this. So I think this is the like you need everything. मतलब तुम्हारा सक्सेस का रेसिपी खुद फील होने शुरू हो जाता है. मतलब आप समझ जाते हो कि okay, this recipe is ready now. Like you can
Hmm.
serve it to the people who need it, right? So I feel like that. And for this field, I have just started to attend as an audience, and
Hmm.
then I felt like my brother Sujay Malik, he told me like, why don't you join like storytelling and like see to it, you might like
Hmm.
it. स्टोरी टेलिंग तो ठीक है, वो तो कर लिया, बट आज की डेट में बहुत कुछ और एक्सप्लोर कर लिया एंड आई एम एंजॉयिंग इट.
That's fascinating, and it's so inspiring that you have taken all of those elements and then you are weaving together this very new kind of an approach to pedagogy. Like you do a lot of social activism as well, and you go to these schools and colleges and talk about important social issues. So like you are using your skill set of storytelling, and you're using your skill sets that you have learned and honed during your B.Ed to enable that kind of a transformation in these young kids that you meet. So tell us more about that, and also tell us what are your like milestones in this journey, or like any turning points that you have experienced.
Yeah, it's a nice point that should be like I would love to answer this. So basically, this is, you get happy. I mean, I had a journey where I used to have like, teaching maths and science, but
Hmm.
that wasn't so interesting for me. But when I go and take the social awareness sessions and like, perform on stage or something, that gets like, alag sa energy aa jata hai body mein. And then I'm like, okay, this I wanted. And I think ये पूरा सब चीजें ये so first thing that was like मुझे boost और बहुत अच्छा लगा when I was being interviewed by RJ Malishka Red FM. It was back then in 2022. Feb का टाइम था and just I got a request कि okay Malishka wants to like talk with social activist Rakshita on awareness on menstrual health and hygiene. तो वो
Nice.
अच्छा. उसके बाद some good features on all media houses, Free Press Journal and all. तो वो ऐसे confidence दिलाते गया कि okay, the work recognition is getting done, and like people also started believing in me. And
Hmm.
I feel like if I go to the slum areas and like ZP schools and all, and I take sections over there, so I get to hear stories from them. Like
Yeah.
that also helps me to build or write my own script for my
Yes.
original stories. So there was like, I remember one incident. There was one small guy. Um, he must be in like eighth or ninth standard.
Hmm.
So I just randomly asked them, like, I have gone there to take the session on like life coaching session for them.
Hmm.
So I just asked them, what do you want to become like when you grow up? सो बच्चों को बहुत सारी मतलब एम्यूनिटीज एंड ऑल नहीं है, जेडपी स्कूल है, बहुत ही साधारण,
Hmm.
लाइक पतरा है वैसे है, बट मतलब यू नो ही टोल्ड मी, एक बच्चे ने बोला मुझे यूट्यूबर बनना है. एंड आई वाज लाइक हमारे टाइम पे तो ये सब मालूम भी नहीं रहता था.
हाँ,
एंड वी
एग्जैक्टली.
स्टे इन स्लम एरियाज. एंड उसने बोला यूट्यूबर बनना है, और मैं बता देता हूँ प्रोसेस क्या है. We just have to make this. And he was like 8th standard, and I was getting goosebumps. And one student said, मुझे IAS ऑफिसर बनना है.
वाओ.
I was like कि मतलब ये छोटी छोटी चीजें gives me like okay, the best thing I could ever explore or experience. And whenever I go for the sessions, I experience some ऐसा tiny gestures from kids. So वो लोग क्या करते हैं, या तो फीडबैक फॉर्म में कुछ बहुत प्यारा लिख देते हैं, तो उसको पढ़
हम्म.
के मेरा दिल गार्डन होता है. और या तो फिर लाइक ऐसा ऐसा नोट लिखेंगे कि दीदी, यू आर वेरी क्यूट, वी जस्ट लव्ड योर सेशन, प्लीज कीप कमिंग बैक फॉर दिस थिंग. और ऐसा नोट देते हैं कि मैं सेशन के लास्ट में बोलती हूँ, ओके, आई आई लाइक लव लेटर, सो यू कैन राइट लव लेटर हाउ एवर यू फाइंड द सेशन एंड ऑल.
वाओ.
So I get ample of them and I love it absolutely.
That is so sweet. And I have worked a little bit with kids, and they are fascinating. Malab, if you I this has been my experience that if I take a session, if I am giving 10, like what I'm giving is 10%, then what I'm getting back, I get back in 90%. And it's an amazing thing just to be surrounded by that energy and that enthusiasm with working with kids. Yes. So
Right.
is there like anything that you're working on right now, or is there like a message that you would like to tell us, to our listeners and to our audience?
I would like to say, like, people, just one thing, that believe in you. मतलब once we strongly start believing in ourselves, ना कि नहीं, मेरी एनर्जी बेस्ट है, मेरी क्रिएटिविटी बेस्ट है, देयर इज सम टैलेंट इनसाइड मी, जस्ट बिलीव दैट. एंड फिर चीजें खुद ही ऑटोमेटिकली आपके साथ होती जाएगी. And that's what I feel. Like recently, I've been like working on a project. Some things work out, some don't. But
Mhm.
जो भी नहीं होती है, वो वो भी अच्छे के लिए ही होती है. Whatever didn't work out.
Right.
So take up that positivity. And abhi we have a show on like 30th November. That is Zara Hatke Zara Bachke. That's
Hmm.
a blend of a complete various art forms, which is going to be like, उसमें सोशल अवेयरनेस होगा, अलग अलग टॉपिक्स हैं, अलग अलग आर्टिस्ट हैं. तो वो काफी अच्छा प्रोजेक्ट है. उसमें ही एक पार्ट है दैट्स ऑफ मेकअप, जो मैं बता रही थी, मेकअप एंड एक्टिविज्म. सो द
Interesting.
एंटायर कॉन्सेप्ट इज बीइंग डिस्कस्ड, बस एग्जीक्यूशन करना है. एंड
Nice.
या.
All right. This is so fascinating. So I have y- I have learned so much. I have known you for a few years now. You were there in like my first ever poetry open mic experience. And आपने बीएड किया है, ये बात मुझे आज पता चल रही है. So it's so fascinating to understand a person, even if you have spent time with them in this particular format and through by asking these questions. So I'm just happy that I get an opportunity to do this and have this conversation with you. And yeah, so we will be doing more of these. I will be talking to more fascinating people. And even if, so a lot, like I have reached out to quite a few friends, um, asking them, ki, I'm doing this podcast and would you like to be a part of it? And they are like, nee, nee, my life is boring. So for me, their life is fascinating. But for them, they are like, yeah, मेरा तो normal life है, चल रही है. But it is never that way. It is, your life is always going to be interesting. It's just that sometimes we get so caught up in that zone कि हमको ऐसे लगता है कि यार मेरी तो बोरिंग है लाइफ. बट आपने कितना मतलब the the amount that you have achieved on your own, uh, going through the struggles that you have gone through, is just amazing. So yeah, any final words or any like plugins that you would like to do, please? feel free, and we would be taking um yeah, we would be taking your leave in like 2-3 minutes. So yes, Rakshita,
Yeah.
over to you.
So
Or
I'll-
wait, I have a better idea. If you would like to share some poetry, please, that would be amazing too.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I can share it. I think why not share my viral piece so everybody should connect to it and feel like okay, okay. Yeah, this piece is going to be as romantic as this podcast today.
Oh.
So so yeah, as serene as your soul, as serene as your soul, I fell in love. I fell in love when you took me to Marine Drive. When
Wow.
you took me to Marine Drive, gazing at the waves, gazing at the waves, I could peep within your eyes to find me more in you, to find me more in you. Just when you said, just when you said, look there. Just when you said, look there, I fell in love even more. I fell in love even more with Marine Drive. You better love next time.
I love this piece. It is fascinating, and it is exactly my thoughts every single time I go to Marine Drive. Like दुनिया के सारे दुख दर्द एक तरफ और वहां उस स्पॉट पे बैठने की खुशी एक तरफ. That is like
Yeah,
incomparable and unparalleled, and I always miss Mumbai whenever
true,
I hear this. So
true that.
thank you so much, Rakshita, for sharing your life journey with us. And we would be back for with more interesting people. So do subscribe if you have loved this. Do send in your comments. And thank you again. Bye, Rakshita.
Thank you so much, Amrita.